Heather, thank you for joining me for part 3, A Penny for Your Thoughts. And
Your pleasure.
last week, we spoke about turning the other cheek and what was Jesus' meaning. And you told us what your thoughts were about what Jesus was saying. So today, what was Jesus not saying? What's your thoughts?
Well, I think it's really important to add this probably as a caveat to what we have been saying, because some people, I can hear them thinking, I can see their minds turning, thinking, well, okay, Heather said, Jesus doesn't want us to be doormats, but at the same time we've got to turn the other cheek. So when my partner or fiance or someone hits me in a domestic violence situation, does that mean to say that I just have to suffer this? No, no, no. It does not mean that. Jesus spoke to fathers and said, fathers, don't push your children, be reasonable to your children. Don't push them. He said to husbands, love your wives. Love cuts out all violence.
Yes.
When you love your wife, it cuts out all violence. And he also said about wives honoring their husbands. That cuts out all violence. So killing is not okay. Domestic violence is not okay. Hitting someone is not okay. And when God looked down at the earth, only 8 chapters in, and I don't know how many years that was, but he looked down with such a sad heart when he saw that the earth was filled with violence. And the Bible actually says that he regretted that he made man.
Yes, he was sorry he made man, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was so upset.
Yes.
I don't think it took him by surprise, because he knew what was in the heart of man. But so he decided to start again. And you all know the story of Noah. When God destroyed the earth, except for 8 people.
Yes.
But that shows that God is not saying that violence is okay. Violence is not okay in any situation. And it's not even okay to slap someone across the face like we've been talking about, But Jesus was saying, but if in a minor situation like that, someone rejects you or abuses you, don't fight fire with fire. Len and I were reading this morning in our quiet time together, and we read, a soft answer turns away wrath. It's a soft answer. It's not violence. Violence, it says, the wrath of man does not work the righteousness of God. The wrath of God does not work. The wrath of man does not work the righteousness of God. So nothing you do in a violent way brings any positive result. If you speak angrily to someone, do you think they're going to answer lovingly? No, their instinct is to fight fire with fire and force with force. So Jesus was saying, don't fight force with force, but he's not saying to the abused wife or the abused husband or someone who fears for their life not to run for their lives. Not at all. And I think this needs to be made very clear for those who are in abusive situations. There is the law, there is the judicial system that you can go to. You can go for help, and you should go for help. And you would not be fair to your children if you didn't go for help. So God has given us law. He says to pray for kings and those who are in authority. Pray for them, that they will deal righteously. And so we have the police force. We have all of these things where if you're in an abusive relationship, you can go for help. So please do not think that Jesus is saying, yes, if you're being beaten up at home, well, you've just got to be a doormat. He's not saying that at all. He's saying the spirit of the letter is saying, fight evil with love, because that is such a powerful force. But if you're in danger, or your life's in danger, or your children's life is in danger, then I think we need to make this caveat that this is not what Jesus was saying at all. And so much abuse has happened in the name of religion. Under spiritual authority, people have been abused. That is the worst abuse, spiritual, physical abuse for children, even for adults. Should never, ever be done in God's name. And I think I would just encourage anyone who is in that situation not to see this as God keeping you in a life-threatening situation in any way at all. You have every right to protect your children and protect yourself and protect your home. But back in Moses' day, God was saying, yes, there are judicial laws in place. Go to the magistrate. And in the New Testament, it's also pray for kings, pray for the authorities, pray for those who are looking after the peace in the community. And as much as you can, as much as lies within you, as much as you can, be at peace with everyone.
So Heather, I just want to ask you a really difficult question here. Why is
Another
it?
one. Another
Yeah.
one.
Why is it that some people actually stay in an abusive situation? Because sadly, some people do.
I think a lot of people do. I think it is fear. I mean, where do you go? Where
Exactly.
do you go? Some people don't have a choice. Some people stay for the convenience of having a home and not paying double rent. Look, I think there's a myriad reasons why people stay. They want to stay because they want their children to grow up with a father, and they think, oh, well, maybe if I'm a Christian woman, maybe I've just got to suffer this for the good of. But actually, it's not for the good of your children sometimes because they're learning abusive ways, So, but I would humbly say that there isn't a black or white answer to that.
No.
I think each one needs to pray very, very carefully about what they should do. I had a very, very dear friend of Matt's actually, and she was living with an abusive mother, and the mother would just hit her with milk bottles. This is when she was just only 16.
Wow.
Hit her with milk bottles and just abuse her and verbally abuse her and physically abuse her until the end. In the end, we saw bruises on her. And so we executed a plan to rescue her. And my mum and dad looked after her secretly for a little while we got this all sorted out.
Yes. Wow.
Should she have stayed in that abusive relationship? No. What that did to her as a young person growing up just pretty much wrecked her life, actually, to be honest. But we were very happy to be involved in an escape plan for her. And my dear mum and dad looked after her for a while, and the mother didn't know where she was. Later on, found out, but we were able to set things in place for her so that she could be safe. So I think it's really, really important to make sure you're safe. But I think Jesus was talking more on a personal level of, if someone just hits out at you or rejects you or abuses you personally. But if they're going to be, if your life's in danger at all, or if you're in an abusive relationship, please seek help from the authorities that the government has put in place, or your pastor, or or his wife, or tell someone so that something can be done about it.
Yes, someone that you can trust.
Mm.
Heather,
Yes.
I think you have given us so many thoughts over the past 3 weeks, and you have covered this verse, as I say, so well. And you've really have given us, shall we say, much to think about there about this verse, and given us some clarity. So can I say thank you, Heather, again, for your penny, for your thoughts. Thank you, Heather. God bless you.
Thank you, and God bless you, Living Stones.